Today we've got updates on Alaska 2026. I've also got some updates on 2 Princess cruise ships. We're going to be talking about Carnival updates as well as lots more. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Tuesday, it is October 29th of 2024, and I want you to know that I missed you the last couple of days that I wasn't here. It's amazing how often I think of you and just wanted you to know that you are missed. Let's start at the very top talking about the Regal Princess. So if you are not aware, the Regal Princess just completed her transatlantic to bring her back to Galveston, Texas for her Caribbean season. For the last couple of years, Princess has kept the Regal Princess in port there in Galveston so that she runs Caribbean cruises during basically the winter time, and then she'll do her transatlantic to go over to Europe and do sailings there and come back. Well, as she was coming back, just as she was arriving in on October 25th, which would be last Friday, guess who were booked on the next cruise, which would be the very first one in this season sailing from Galveston. It was set to sail on Sunday, October 27th. Just Friday, the guests received the notice that Princess had to cancel that cruise. Now, what do they get due to having to cancel their cruise? They're getting a full refund, and they are also getting a future cruise credit equal to 25% of their cruise fare. Alrighty. Now, why is this happening? Clearly, something is happening of a mechanical issue with the ship that they are not able to fix while the ship is underway on a cruise. I don't know what it is. They did not officially announce what the problem is, but guests on the transatlantic sailing let us know that there was a substantial power outage during that crossing, and it maybe has something to do with that. And so I'll be anxiously, I'm listening to hear, hopefully they'll be able to get all of the repairs done so that she'll be able to sail her next cruise, because they're just 7-day sailings. So if you happened to be on the transatlantic and know anything else, let us know that in the comments. Also, if you happen to be on the first sailing there that was supposed to have gone on October 27th, let us know that in the comments, as well as, are you just looking at another sailing out of Galveston on the Regal, or are you looking around a little further afield? What are you thinking you might do with that 25% future cruise credit? We'll look forward to hearing from you. And of course, we're really sorry to hear that you didn't get to go on your cruise. Now, next up, Queen Mary 2. We've got Let's Go family members on the Queen Mary 2 right now, Cunard's beautiful ship, and they are so kind. They are posting updates on our Facebook page. It's Code 4 for Life, and so if you don't follow them on YouTube, I think you should. But they gave us an update to let us know that they had to divert 5 hours in order to be close enough to Newfoundland so that a helicopter could come out and do a medical evacuation. And I always think it's important to mention these things for a couple of standpoints. One, so that you know that really, truly, the cruise lines do their best to take the very best care of their passengers that they possibly can, and they will divert the ship in order to get you where you need to be, to get the medical attention that you need. And I also think it's really important that we know that these things happen so that we remember that it's important to have insurance, because medical things can add up really quickly. And so you want to have any coverage that you wish you had when those things happen. So don't forget insurance. And then the third reason is so that we can keep these people in our prayers. It's got to be really hard. You think you're going on your vacation, you're ready to go, and then something happens that you're so sick that you have to be evacuated from the ship. So we will keep those people in our prayers as well. Next up, the Crown Princess. So the Crown Princess has just sailed on Saturday. They sailed into Sydney Harbor, and it was a really big deal, a very big welcome, a big celebration. There were, I guess, water skiers, a big water show that the guests on the Crown Princess were able to see. Just kind of, it looked like, from the pictures that I've seen, it looked a little bit like it was opposite the Opera House there in Sydney Harbor. Really cool. The reason that it's a really big deal is because this Crown Princess is now going to be home porting in Australia year-round. It's really interesting to me that they use, in the press release, they said, Princess said that she was going to be home porting for a whole year because the Crown Princess will be embarking on the World Cruise in May of 2025. So regarding that, the official announcement said, in addition to taking princess guests to some of the most desirable locales throughout Australia, the Crown Princess will also set sail on the biggest world cruise ever undertaken by any cruise line in either the northern or the southern hemisphere, with guests set to embark on the 113-night circumnavigation of the globe. And so that, like I said, is going to start in May of 2025. The really cool thing is that the World Cruise for 2026, as I told you last week, just got longer. And so next year we'll be setting another record. And I really do think that since they say she's home porting from Australia for a year, she's really not sailing because she's going to be gone for, almost 4 months running that cruise. But it's still really exciting that Princess has a ship that is going from Australia so much. They also will have the Discovery Princess. There are so many amazing things to see in Australia and New Zealand that it's just thrilling that they are putting ships down there. And a lot of times they just have them there for the season, but now the Crown Princess will be there year-round, so that's a pretty big deal. So let me know if you're going to go on any of those sailings of the Crown Princess. Next up, this is a really big deal, and I think it's really special, and so I'm going to tell you about it. So Carnival Cruise Line has been sailing for 20 years from Baltimore, Maryland. Really big deal. They say they take 100,000 passengers from Baltimore every year, and they started on the Carnival Pride, and so they just have had a big celebration. And what they mainly did during the celebration is not only recognize that Carnival has been sailing from Baltimore for 20 years, but they took it as a special occasion to honor and show respect for the first responders who were there on the scene and helping everyone when the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed when that ship hit it this last year. And so I just think it's really important. I tell you this often, Christine Duffy I think is remarkable. She does an excellent job of leading Carnival Cruise Line, which is America's favorite cruise line, as she points out often America's cruise line, and I think they deserve that title. But she always does such a good job of honoring veterans, of honoring first responders. Everyone who works for Carnival loves her to pieces, which is very much manifest when you're on one of their ships, and she happens to be there as well. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I really admire that Carnival took the time, especially since they sail from Baltimore, to really recognize those first responders who did so much when they are on the scene there when the bridge collapsed. Okay, so we talk about the Panama Canal because we talk about it for cruises. We have talked about it with the drought that has been going on. It looks like they have gotten some rain, but the Panama Canal, the official season for the Panama Canal goes from October to May. There are ships that traverse the Panama Canal all the time, but when you look at the major cruise season for the Panama Canal, it's October through May. And of course, there are some that are outliers and other times, but that is when the bulk of the cruise ships go through, is October to May. And just wanted you to know that it seems like everything is underway. I know that for a long time, people were worried if any of their cruises were going to be canceled because of the water levels in the canal, but everything that I have been able to find about it, it seems like the water levels are okay right now, and they are saying that some of the backlog for the ships that were waiting to get through the Panama Canal has been worked through a little bit. And of course, we will keep our eye on it a little bit more, but I thought that it was really encouraging that they feel like that things are going better as far as the water level there in the Panama Canal. So I thought I'd bring you up to date. And then in addition to running all of those cruises through the Panama Canal that are Panama Canal cruises, I love that we are getting more and more ships with what we are looking at for the Alaska 2026 season that will be repositioning through the Panama Canal in order to come from Florida, clear around to make it up to where they're going to home port for the Alaska season. And that is my segue to tell you about MSC. So the MSC Poesia, Poesia, is going to be home porting in Seattle for the 2026 Alaska season. They're going to sail their first inaugural cruise from Seattle on May 11th of 2024. Posey is one of their more mid-sized ships. It's not as big as some of the ships that MSC runs, but to me, it's really exciting that we have someone else up there doing Alaska. And if you look at the cruise fares that MSC runs, when you look at Florida and everywhere else pretty much that they sail, they are really affordable. The cruise fares are very affordable. So I'm anxious to see what those look like for 2026. I haven't looked yet, but it's going to open the world a little bit more to a lot of people that want to go to Alaska, and maybe some of the other cruise lines, the cruise fares were a little bit out of reach. And so those 7-night itineraries that MSC is going to be running are going to go, they're going to include calls in Icy Strait, Juneau, Ketchikan, Tracy Arm Fjord, and Victoria. And like I said, round trip from Seattle. So you'll get to see an awful lot of Alaska that way. And I just think it's really, really exciting. So let me know, do you want to go to Alaska on MSC? Who have you gone to Alaska on so far? Alaska is one of those places where you can go again and again and again, and it doesn't get old. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please go ahead and hit that subscribe button? And if you appreciate my updates, will you please give this video a thumbs up? Thank you so very much. The last thing I wanted to tell you, because this is a big deal, and by the way, that MSC Posea will be going through the Panama Canal to get up to Seattle. But Labadee, Haiti. So about 7 months ago, cruise ships suspended their calls there in Labadee, Haiti due to violence. It was no longer deemed safe for cruise ships to be able to go there. But earlier this month in October, Royal Caribbean started to go there again. And the very first ship that went there was Adventure of the Seas. But since then, Freedom of the Seas, Independence of the Seas, and Symphony of the Seas has called in Labadee, Haiti. And everything has gone really well so far. Why do people want to go to Labadee, Haiti? I've done some research on this, and it seems like they have amazing beaches there that people love to visit. They've got a zip line that people really like, and then the other thing is apparently their local craft markets are really fun to visit, and I think that's wonderful. I like to go to local craft markets in the place that I visit because I try to support. I think it's important that we support people in the places that we visit. So if you have been wanting to go to Haiti, now is the time that you could look at Royal Caribbean, because they've got ships going to Haiti again. And if you've got any questions about anything, just let me know. I'm really excited. It's only Tuesday, but put Friday night on your schedule with a star, because we're going to do our live. I've got so much to tell you, about our cruise on the Silhouette, Celebrity Silhouette to the Mediterranean. We've got to wrap that up. I want to answer your questions about that. And then in November, I'm going to be going on the Celebrity Ascent. So I'm going to be taking a lot of notes, and I'm going to tell you in a lot of detail the differences between going on the Edge class ship, which this time it's the Ascent that I'll be going on, and comparing it to the Silhouette. Because I think a lot of the things are the same when you think of like the service by the crew and the overall vibe of the cruise line, but there are significant differences between sailing on the larger ship and the smaller ship with Celebrity. So I'll bring you up to date on that. Let me know what questions you've got. It's really been nice to be here with you today, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.